This WAFL Colts broadcast is brought to you by Electrical Group Training. Considering a career as an electrician, visit egt.net.au to start your journey. Amy, when the bounce serves you a clanger, lucky you're with Amy. And Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
Welcome to Sullivan Logistics Stadium for this Colts clash. A bit of a slight delay there, but we're back on board here between the Lions and the Bulldogs. My name is Ethan Roth. Great to have your company here on this Saturday morning WAFL Colts action for round number 5. Fremantle doing the first scoring at the moment. Opening goal for the Bulldogs. Back in board, Simmons doing well to and a point there for the Lions. Fremantle look to bring it back out. Quick ball out to the far side. And grabbing it there cleanly. Here come the Bulldogs through the corridor. Skimming ball along the ground. Was picked up cleanly by a Subiaco player. And then the quick kick forward. Looking for a key player, but going back with the flight. Great mark taken by Freight. Back with the flight. Uncontested mark taken for South Fremantle. Up on this broadcast side. Good mark taken. Almost. Here come the Bulldogs. Can they get their second? Looks a pretty good kick off the boot. Umpire barely moves, and the Bulldogs have a couple in quick succession. Great left foot kick there from Jarrah Hayden. Just on the arc. So Bulldogs have a couple. And they come into this game undefeated with a healthy percentage of 193%. Last week they beat West Perth by 79 points after an 85-point win a fortnight earlier against Perth. Those games at HIF Health Insurance Oval, so happy hunting ground for them. And Subiaco, they've only left Sullivan Logistics Stadium once just to kick-start their season. Their first win came under lights last Friday against Peel Thunder on this very ground. So they were finally on the board with a 59-point win. Cool. Look on the ground there. Fierce tackle on Godwin applied from the Lions. Tata will be rewarded for holding the ball for a kick. And in fact, it's his teammate in Holbrook, Mason Holbrook, in the number 22 Guernsey for Subiaco. Eager to play on. Sends it up towards half forward. The Lions trailing by 12 points at an early stage. Look. Handball. Transition to the far side. Holbrook back with the flight, takes it on the second attempt. Good mark taken by him. And Subiaco get an uncontested mark. Surge it up towards half forward. Simmons was trying to claim the mark, wasn't to be. Godwin working hard in this one. We'll have a boundary thrown on the far side. having some trouble with the stats here. They haven't seemed to be updated, so we'll get those goal scorers for you as soon as we can. Vanderhoek trying to spin one way then the other. Goes in ball to Stannard. Those two, the leading disposal possession getters in the WAFL Colts, averaging 28 and 26 disposals respectively. You could argue that we're stiff to not make the under-18 squad, as Lual Gatluk will get a high free kick, just a bit too high there. Like Young on that far side, giving away the free kick. 4 ins for South Fremantle today. That's 2 ins, rather, for South Fremantle, 4 ins for Subiaco. So a few team changes with state duties and another trial game for WA, and also PSA duties for a second straight week. They go long. Subiaco are outnumbered. Stepping one way than the other. They get it back out. Simmons, and he dodges his opponent outside of the boot. He'll look to set it up. Not sure that was the intended option, but it might work out okay for Subiaco. Good mark taken on a slight angle by James Bourneman. His 4th game of WAFL Colts today. Can he get Subiaco on the board? What's been a start that's belonged to South Fremantle today. Comes in, steady approach, and he nails it. So Subiaco, through James Bourneman, get on the board. They trail by 1 straight kick here at Southern Logistics Stadium in this EGT WAFL Colts matchup for round 5. Here's O'Brien, who takes it out of there. He's in the state 18 squad, coming back after an impressive performance in the trial game last week. He gets the clearance inside 50 for the Lions, taking a run on the bounce. South Fremantle, they clear for now and going in the direction of Freight. Also a big run on the jump from Parsons. And it's McAuliffe, the co-captain, who has no choice but to just quick clearance there. Maybe had a bit more time, did Musker, than he realised. And the ball's just going to remain on the half-forward flank for Subiaco. Potentially didn't have it, trying to run through O'Brien. Rather, it was number 37 in the form of the second game, and Robbins, who maybe had a bit more time than he realised. Not the worst result, though, for the Lions. They've had a little bit of a passage of play, being able to keep it in their front half, and they want to search for their second. Good look, goes uncontested in the end. It's going to be a throw in. Trying to barrage their way through on the left. Bulldogs holding up it well okay for now. Charland in the back 50, and then passes it out there to Noble. Going to be quick with it. Stannard getting back to help out. Across goal. And they're behind for Subiaco. So they trail by 5 points here at Southern Logistics Stadium. Haven't beaten the Bulldogs since round 16, 2024. So South Fremantle have definitely had the wood over the Lions in recent times off the back of a grand final performance. They're undefeated at the moment. Comprehensive wins for Matt Rogers' side. They look to take the game on, but that's going to be intercepted. Subiaco to play free in O'Brien. He can gather. try and turn his opponent inside out. He had a mountain of time. He's going to be caught holding the ball. Looks like Parsons applying the defensive pressure there. Good smother. So a ruck contest. Subiaco. Hand pass came out there. Coughlin. Subiaco can gather cleanly here. Try and make an impact on the scoreboard. Quick kick around the body. Ambitious attempt there from Young. Reach long hair and that'll be out of bounds on the full. So not over 13 minutes. Rather it bounced before hitting the post. So maybe out boundary throw-in, which is a preferred result for Subiaco. Long throw-in. Again, uncontested in the air. Casual there by South Fremantle. Stays in the vicinity. Mobbing up well was Charland and taking the mark. Foster. Strezza. What can they do to add a bit of ball movement? Score the first two. This one, bit too much over the head. Noble. Trapping it. Subiaco on hands and knees, multiple players, and that ball's not coming out of there anytime soon. Tata off a standing step on the non-preferred. Wasn't overly convincing, but again, on the non-preferred, Subiaco showing that skill set, playing from behind. You head over it. Good stuff, although the kick was a bit of a wobble along the ground from Boylston. Subiaco, Vanderhook, stripped of it. To Tata, again swinging around, recognising the value of giving his forwards a chance, but nice mark there taken by the hyphen Foster. Strezza for the Bulldogs. Ball was the intended target, but Charlton says, I'll grab it myself. Here's Mallard. First game since his round 3 debut, where he kicked 2 goals against Claremont in that 4-point win. And on a searching lead, finds Hookham 6 goals. Last week, in fact, it's the other Sam and Coote. Grabs it cleanly. Good tackle there. Around the corner there from Stannard. How does this sit? It's going to just bounce the wrong way at the last gasp. So South Fremantle enhance their lead ever so slightly. But it's Hicks who's going to be bringing it out for Subiaco. Misfired handball. Can South Fremantle make them pay? Umpire giving the benefit of the doubt. Around the corner from Coots. And slams into the woodwork. So both teams brewing some opportunity in front of goal. See Riley Hay on screen. The skipper says, calm things down. He'll take the kick out for the Lions. It's going to come back in that direction, it seems, or maybe not, as the hand pass was just misfired. Whether that was in or out of the arc, it's going to be a bit of a consultation between umpires here. And boundary throw in the call, so benefit of the doubt given. Coote. Down the way of Lally, who tries to fend off. He was on the end of 9 tackles himself last week. It's going to be coming the way of the Bulldogs. There's a few leads short. They're pointing long. Coots down there, as to Hookham. They've set themselves for the big kick. Both those players made a contest, as did Musker. It just stays in the field of play for now. But again, seems like a throw up or trying to burrow their way through. Just hook them. Big slap out. Subiaco don't want to concede and throwing the head back. Made the umpire known that that was a free kick from Hicks. Ball just running on that far side. And again, another defensive pressure act inside 50 for the Bulldogs. They get around him there. Snapping ball around the body and just the required 15 perhaps. Simmons was closing in, but the mark is taken by Coote. This is for South Fremantle's third. Get it out to double digits once again. It's called to play on, and you can see the goal umpire running from the get-go. So that'll be another behind. South Fremantle, I argue they should be further ahead in this one. They do lead, though, by 8 points. About 6 or 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Beautiful day for footy here at Sutherland Logistics Stadium. Tatata just waited for the bounce to do its thing. He's held up, though. Vanderhoek finishes off Mallard. Fellow number 1, Riley Hay, big handball over the top. Dance their way through. One of those goal kickers, Hayden, lowers his eyes, a bit too much over the head of the intended target. Coote's going to mob up, back in board. The relentless pressure comes for Subiaco. Quick kick around the body. They're under siege though. Pumper is back into the lineup for his first game since round 6 of last year. Long ball towards the tip of the goal square. Big kick out from Subiaco defence. Stripped of it was Boylson. Hand pass from Bellini. And Ball can assess his options. Come out wide to the returning Xavier Allen. His first game since round 3 also, along with Darren Mallard. Going to look to pump it as long as he possibly can, right inside 50. Float came and a push out. South Fremantle, they're undefeated, but it's a test with no Cam Maynard and likes of Bush Jones, Byron Foster, etc. Through state duties. Here comes Simmons, who can take a bounce, draws the opponent. They're out here, Subiaco, if they can get and go. Young is on a searching lead. He has company right with him the whole way. Just lost it for a second. Young, can he spin out his opponent? He can't. Bit of a sling tackle. Is that dangerous? In the end, it is. So Young will get the free kick back in his favour of the Subiaco live wire. It might favour his left foot from here. Dylan Young does the team thing. He recognises there's a better option. And the short pass is executed for the Lions. This would really hurt South Fremantle for all the hard work they've done at the other end if this can be slotted through. Really need to take your opportunities on the day like this for Subiaco, where coming into this one, heavy underdogs. It's an undefeated South Fremantle team, but anything can happen, particularly if you take your chances, which on this occasion is not on display for Subiaco. Another behind for them, so 7 points. We creep closer towards the first break here at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. Round 6, the EGT WAFL Colts. And kick into the corridor. Young attacking it. Can he slingshot it back? Dylan Young. Not quite the result he was after. Would have been the old 7-point play. Vanderhook. Clear for Bulldogs. Fine form, as I mentioned. 28 disposals this year in the WAFL Colts. Still a bottom major as well. He turns the ball over. Subiaco need to make them pay, but a bit too fast there as Godwin came in to intercept, and he's off. 50-metre penalty, in fact. Maybe played every game last year in their grand final run as the bottom major, and there's a chance now to lead this group to one step better this top age season. Low ball. It's a good run in the end. Having a couple of looks at it there was Mallard. They'll break their way through again. Subiaco know that they don't want to concede late. Won't mind a 6-point deficit at quarter time, although they've kicked 1 goal forward at South Fremantle's 2 goals for. Big kick comes out from Baron Hay. A couple of players fly. Stannard over the top. Day. And then on the left, a player who's already kicked 1. Make that 2. For Jarrah Hayden. And that'll hurt Subiaco right in the last minute of this first quarter. $12 points exactly. He's kicked 2 goals from 3 disposals. The other goal kickers, we finally got some stats coming through. Stannard and Borneman from Subiaco to kick their single goal. So that'll just about be it, you'd have to say, unless anything major happens from this throw up. Slung in a 360. O'Brien at the full brunt of it, but a bit of push and shove here between the two sides. Nothing much in it. You have to say, focus on the footy as these teams will go to the quarter time break. It's South Fremantle who lead by 12 points. 1-4 Subiaco, the home side. 10 is trailing Subiaco, South Fremantle 3-4, 22. Quarter time here on YouTube for Southern Logistics Stadium. EGT WAFL Colts round 5 action. We'll be back after the break for the second quarter live from Leederville, Southern Logistics Stadium.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
last of my thoughts. Standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts. Standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. Freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before.
Welcome back to Sullen Logistics Stadium. It is EGT WAFL Colts action for round 5. Subiaco trailing South Fremantle by 12 points. First quarter belonged to South Fremantle, but Subiaco have definitely had their moments. Just a bit of inaccuracy costing them at the moment. Some of the major ball winners, Jarrah Mallard's up to 5 disposals, as did Riley Hayden lead both teams, while 2 goals to Jarrah Hayden from just 3 disposals. Riley Stannard, the only other goal kicker for South Fremantle, and James Borman got Subiaco off the mark with their first. So we've set ourselves for the second quarter, live from Sullen Logistics Stadium. 12 points the margin. Comes down the way of the number 5 in McAuliffe. Subiaco need to get a good start to the second quarter. They look to do that through Krupi, who's one of their inclusions. Good smother off the boot. Impacted. Noble. You hear shouts of holding the ball. Vanderhook gave it out. Bit of miscommunication there between Robbins and his teammate. Might work out okay though for Lally. And umpire said you had no prior at all. Slapping ball, trying to do the right work to his best ability was Holbrook. And we'll have another ball up. Comes down, Vanderhook had no choice but to handball. Holbrook's going to trap it. He fumbled. A couple of calls were deliberate, not to be, as the pressure came in there by Wow Gatlook, who's top 5 hit-outs in the competition in the Colts first season. Boundary throw in. Beautiful conditions here at Sullen Logistics Stadium. That player in focus. O'Brien gets it on the boot. Young lost his footing. Got it out to Noble. And they can run clear here for Stewart. Gave it back to Noble. And nice mark taken by Mallard. Says, come towards me, boys. Big contest up on the half-forward flank for Subiaco. Going to break through. There's a one-on-one. They spin out South Fremantle. They have to go back just for a moment through Douglas. Douglas selling the dummy. Going to get back on his right boot. Had to go on the outside in the end to the tip of the goal square. Can they get a mark? Big fly came. Where are the Crummers? Subiaco live to see another day for now. There's a quick kick that came out of there, and the pressure's enough just to be able to rush it through. So South Fremantle do the first scoring through a behind. That ball kept in by Simmons, and Parsons' kick anything but that as that sails over the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. No pressure, so Subiaco can play on long down the line. Good mark taken. Eager to play on. Good mark taken there by Robbins. He's off to the races. That'll favour his left boot up towards the direction of Young, who was sort of half-hearted in the end. Usually at ground level. Here is Young over his shoulder. That won't be 15. Umpire will say to play it on, and again rushed through by South Fremantle. Subiaco definitely showing that they're up to it in passages of play. One end to the other pretty seamlessly there through the second gamer in Robbins, who was a key link in the chain. Kick out and a mark taking uncontested though to Foster. Scherzer. Couple of players fly for Subiaco. That meant South Fremantle were able to get it out the back. The intended target is Hookham. Support comes from Mallard. Going back with it, Hinchliffe. And spun in a 360. That'll please the Subiaco coaching staff and supporters in this home fixture today. Go across goal. The last line of defence is Guildford, who could have been stiff as well to not make the state 18 squad after having state 16's experience under his belt. Coughlin just pulled the kick late to disguise it well. Safe mark there taken by Lally. And playing from behind on that occasion, Robbins, his direct opponent, takes the mark, and they're out here. If they can get the intended target, they can't. Subiaco look to bounce. Chipping ball just through the hands of Bournemouth. Still their only goal kicker today. Through the hands of South Fremantle, and Holbrook can mob up. Robbins was not in the best position to get the handball. Did well to hold his ground. They can send it back in. Simmons has drifted forward through his hands. Smalls gather for South Fremantle. Hand pass over the top was intended for Allen. Coming through with a one-on-one with Beck. Parsons can assess his options and keep his cool to come to this broadcast side for Hunt. 4 goals on debut last week against West Perth. Allen will get it back. He was tempted to go off, but the further player up the field in Hookham wasn't on the same page, and they turned the ball over through Hicks. Hicks will go to Beck. Just the required 15 to Krupi. 17th game for him today. He's going to hug the boundary line, and Simmons won't be able to keep that in the field of play. So 12 points, which is what the margin was at quarter time. It's the last of the games here to start for round 5 of the Colts. 10:55 bounce down. Beautiful conditions, and there's a holding free kick for Subiaco through Bishop. Bishop selling the dummy. Keeping his cool, trying to protect the space was Young, and it's going to come back the way of Young, which sometimes see those go either way. Young into the pocket. Simmons going one way than the other. Might have cooked a high free kick, he did. And Bellini is arguing his case. Simmons will play on, and he'll sneak it home to Subiaco. A much needed goal through Thatcher Simmons, who looks as relieved as ever. Kicked a goal last week against Peel and had 37 disposals with Thatcher Simmons. He's absolutely spent on the half-forward flank. He'll drift and stay in the forward line for now. So Subiaco get it back to a one straight kick. Just tightening up here in the second quarter. They're searching for their second win of 2026. Back in the middle again. Both rucks wanting to go with the fist approach. Attacking it well was Allen, being Nick. Parsons can lower his eyes. A lead came early and then a lead came late. That should be a mark taken, and it is paid to Chase Vanderhoek right at the tip of the goal square. So looking likely for a quick reply here. South Fremantle took 11 marks last week, did Chase Vanderhoek, in their thumping against the Falcons. The co-captain comes in. Shouldn't be any issues, and it's not. So South Fremantle, quick reply for them. They just continue to control this one, get it out to that 2-goal buffer. Just the 5 touches for Chase Vanderhoek so far. He's averaging 28 disposals this year, but a goal to his name won't hurt his cause whatsoever in terms of continuing his form into today. 2-5-17 the Lions, trail South Fremantle 4-5-29. Big fist comes out from McAuliffe, doing the 1%ers. Mallard needs some support. He did get it back through Allen. Going back with the flight, having a couple of bites of the cherry, couldn't quite stick the mark in the end. Here is the man who kicked 6 last week in Hookham. That ball almost doing all sorts. Goes out for a boundary throw-in though. Watch the Smalls get to work here for South Fremantle. Ball thrown in. Potentially high free kick. Umpire just putting the whistle away. That ball is just going to stay in that same area. So 53% possession in favour of South Fremantle. Again, players just lie on top of it. Desperate as ever to lock it in. Neither ruck goes at it. Allen's in there, as to Hayden. Up and under ball will take some fair effort to mark, considering Subiaco were outnumbered as well. And no choice but for Freight to concede over the boundary line. Got a good picture of this contest right in front of us. Broadcast position here at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. Subiaco only played 1 game away from this venue this season. Darcy Day doing the tackling. Again, neither ruck can get a convincing hit out. McAuliffe. Dangerous ball to kick into, especially with the intercept there from Barron Hay, who can run on to the end of it, just overrun it ever so slightly. And then mispass with the handball, but it might work out okay for South Fremantle. Allen back out, and chipping ball is a good one. They can send it inside 50. That ball never looked likely of hitting a target. Low scoring game. Simmons eager to play on. And the running groupie can help support. Nice mark taken overhead by Bournemouth. He seems like the go-to key position player at the moment. Holbrook's running past, probably not the ideal player, with all due respect, to get a handball receive, although he is versatile. That ball just went out in the end the whole way before Coughlin could keep it in. About halfway stage of this second quarter. Ball thrown back in. Spinning out was Charland. Here is Holbrook. Forgot which way he was going for a second there, and that'll cost him out of bounds on the full. Charland to bring the ball back in. They look to change it up for Noble. Here's Vanderhoek take the uncontested mark in front of Musker, and then Noble rebounding through the corridor. And they go one end to the other. Good mark there by Mallard. He was tempted to run and jump. Matera's out the back. Can he grab it cleanly and run into an open goal? He'll do exactly that. And from one end to the other, South Fremantle, that's the calibre that they can deliver. And that's why they're undefeated. They can just slice you through the middle like that and run into an open goal, courtesy of Cooper Matera. That's his first disposal as well, so that'll give him some confidence to work into the game nicely. Cooper Matera. Back in the middle once more, Ben. Little while between goals there. First for the quarter. So 1 for 1 at the moment in terms of this quarter, but it's the Bulldogs who lead by 18 points. Here is Matera, so second disposal coming up for him. Long ball down the line. Luau Gatlook flew, made a good contest of it. Simmons, did he cop a high free kick? Umpire might have been blindsided there. And it's eventually going to be awarded a free kick, so a bit of a delayed whistle. The call of that one away. Simmons, nice goal kicker for Subiaco. 6 disposals for his name, and coming off the bench was Detada. Wants to draw the opponent. Simmons ran past him, and that's not going to stay in the field of play, so just that next link up. A little bit of a challenge at the moment for Subiaco. Noble. No one flew for South Fremantle. Hicks. Inside 50. Good contest there. Did his own roving in the end. Did Bournemouth. Holbrook would just trigger the kick towards Young. And Freight has company for him side by side. Boundary line used to his advantage. All other results have finished in this round of Colts apart from this one. We'll get those scores to you very soon as Vanderhoek went by hand, nimble in the contest. Simmons attacking it as he's done today. Keeps it in, goes to Hicks, and then O'Brien off a standing step. Delivers it inside, well, not quite inside 50, but on the brink. Vanderhoek. And pass to Foster Scherzer. And he can go off to the races here, Hayden. He can go inside 50. He could have kept running. But why would you keep running when you can deliver like that? He's kicked 3. Low disposal, high impact, and these Bulldogs are showing why they're undefeated. 6 disposals, 3 goals for Jarrah Hayden. He kicked 2 last week. So he's already beaten that in a half here today and could be eyeing off a bag potentially for the red and the white. And all of his goals have looked never in doubt as soon as they've left the boot. So Fremantle marching on here as we edge closer to half-time, and Vanderhoek wants to keep that momentum going. Through the hands of Matera, picking it up, Coughlin. Simmons just stayed out of it. Wanted Baron Hay. Get it back. But that ball's going to come back in a similar direction through Godwin. Allen's on the wing. He's caught in 2 minds and has to go for a little ball on the ground, which wasn't effective. O'Donnell over the top. He'll get the 1-2. Send it inside 50. Young's playing from behind. Can he gather cleanly? Can he go off the deck? He had the right idea in mind, and they might try and rush this through. Settling the dummy and keeping their composure, the Bulldogs. It's been a bit of a difference so far in Allen. That's just the required 15. Mark taken by Parsons on half-back. Wildcat, look, a bit too much over his head. He lost his footing, but might work out okay for Mallard. Few lines close in. And Mark dropped there. Bishop bobs up. Krupi and Subiaco just take a breath, and it's a quarter that South Fremantle late have piled on in terms of goals. Jarrah Hayden's been the full force of that. Turnover coming the way now. Subiaco just pulling the kick late. Did Simmons, giving his forwards a chance. Robbins on the left boot knows he has a player at the back, and that can be a safe mark, and this needs to go back and just be slotted. Taking some ownership is the man who's kicked one of their 2 goals in James Bournemouth. Can go back and try and slot number 2, the number 24. Just to get a bit of reward here for the Lions. James Bournemouth, number 1 focal point up forward for Subiaco, and he shows it here as well. Subiaco get their 2nd of the quarter, and they trail by 18 points. An even 3-goal margin with under 5 minutes to play here to close out the first half. EGT WAFL Colts action for round 5, live from Sullivan Logistics Stadium. About 3 minutes to play. Free kick though coming the way of Day. He lowers his eyes, goes in the direction of Vanderhoek, who had Lally with him for company. And then slung around was O'Brien. Dangerous tackle for him. He's part of the rotation for the State 18's trial game. Otherwise, he definitely would have kept his spot based on his performance last week against Swan District's reserves. 22 disposals, 5 clearances and a goal, and still just 16 years of age. Is leading the way along with a few others in the Subiaco outfit. Drawing the opponent, going over the top to Douglas. You want to get the boot to ball. Just took an extra step or two and put it in the path of Hookham, who was touched off the boot. He recognised that from the get-go. Comes back to Douglas, who started this passage of play in the first place. And South Fremantle, every time Subiaco fire up forward, they say we're in control of this one. Kobe Douglas. Adds his name to the score sheet. And adds goal number 3 of his season. So on the brink here of half-time. 4-goal lead exactly to the visitors. Lally wants to do something about that. Heading into the main break. And Robbins takes the mark. He's the only debutant last week to keep his spot in the side, Sam Robbins. 3 debutants last week. Holbrook knows he has to go to get one close to the buzzer. Detata had that one arm pinned. Whistle for the high contact coming to Boylston. Bournemouth, potentially the player in sight, or Simmons, who's drifted forward. Can he have a good run and jump at it? He took the mark anyway. It's a push, showing his aerial capabilities. Thatcher Simmons. Already kicked one this quarter. And it's been a back and forth quarter, particularly in the latter stages. So, Thatcher Simmons led by example for the season to date. On the siren, this will give Subiaco some confidence, and it just drifts late. So, Subiaco, they do trail here at halftime, 3-6-24 to South Fremantle 7-5-47. South Fremantle looking to go undefeated continuously onto next week. They, at the main break, lead by 23, but Subiaco, they will not be giving up on this contest right till the final siren. They're coming off a win last week, their first of the season, and they know how important 2 on the trot could be to their young group. We'll take a break here from Sullivan Logistics Stadium. It's halftime of the EGT WAFL Colts between Subiaco and South Fremantle, the last game of the round. We'll be back very shortly for the second half, right after this.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the round. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Well, don't tell them if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out 'cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from the gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Well, don't tell them if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Welcome back to Sullivan Logistics Stadium. It is round 5, EGT WAFL Colts. Subiaco trailing South Fremantle by 23 points at the main break. Players have had a break and are raring to go for the second half. And it's the last game to close out round 5 of the EGT WAFL Colts. Some of the results so far. Peel won their first game in almost 2 years last night by 6 points over West Perth. Claremont won by 21 points against Swan Districts earlier today, and East Fremantle comprehensively winning 11-13, 79-2-5, 17 over Perth. But we cast our attention to the second half of this one, and the Bulldogs will wait to see if they keep on being undefeated in season 2026. Quick clearance came out. It's going to be chopped off by Godwin. Goes into the corridor and finds Noble. Possession number 10 coming up for him. In the direction of Stannard. There's a few leads. Sends it inside 50. Holbrook flew. Just mistimed his run, so it'll come the way of the Bulldogs. Snapping ball around the body. It's going to need a miracle bounce and goes through for a behind. So South Fremantle get the first score of the second half. They lead by 4 goals exactly. Short ball for Krupi. Back to Hay, who's spending a bit more time in the back half. Beck potentially got a push. Umpire said wasn't enough and it's out of the arc, so Allen will bring it back through a player who's already kicked 3 goals in Hayden. He goes to the tip of the goal square. Disposal that's not a goal for him, which today is somewhat rare, but looking to assist one of his teammates. The smother off the boot. Guildford. They do all right there, and Holbrook will take the mark to draw the opponents. Sends it to the far side wing. Simmons in the best position. Big fist came by Bellany, and it did enough to make sure it went over the line for a throw in. Couple of 22s go at it in the ruck. Simmons down to Krupi. Wanted Holbrook again. So a pack of players in the heart of the ground. First to it's going to be O'Brien. Puts his head over it. Had no support around him though. Lual Gatlook picks it up. He's slung to ground. Holbrook reeling it in with one hand. Back in the direction. Godwin's going to be a test of his height up against the fellow number 2 in Tatada. Opportunity for Subiaco to send it inside 50 on a couple of attempts. Went Simmons, he couldn't quite stick it, and then evading nicely come the Bulldogs. Godwin has a player free in Allen. He's going to try and fake the opponent. He did so, but goes further upfield now to Parsons. Beck can set himself short target, and Mark taking his call to play on. Lally didn't quite realise it, just took a step, and he's going to be caught holding the ball. And that's a 50-metre penalty. No need for that whatsoever from Lally. Is going to cost his side in the worst way possible. And just unnecessarily, completely. That'll bring Nick Allen to goal scoring range. So Nick Allen from directly in front to enhance the lead for the Bulldogs. He snuck it home, and the Bulldogs, the beneficiary of a 50-metre penalty, they convert truly, and it's out to a 5-goal margin here at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. So 3-6 Subiaco, trail at South Fremantle 8-6-54. The goal to Nick Allen's name. 5 minutes just over gone in this third. Tapping ball out to O'Brien, looking to get another clearance to his name. Umpire said he legally got rid of it. Allen combining with Stewart. And Stannard getting involved again on a searching lead. Hookham, he's got Coot running directly towards him. He can spot it up, just mistimed his jump. Subiaco have the numbers back there. They don't want to overuse it though. Rupri outside of the boot. Bounce. Favours South Fremantle. Matera. Lual Gatlook took the opponent on. He should be caught here. Was stripped of him anyway, so O'Brien can take a run on the bounce. He's going to be caught himself though by Noble. He just got it out in the nick of time. And Stewart applies the pressure for holding the ball. So the tension's just rising in this one, in this third quarter, off the back of that last 50-metre penalty, which resulted in a goal. Stewart. There's a play free, getting back. A crucial fist there. Coopery. Guildford. Around the body from O'Brien's a good one. They can open up the far side of the ground here. Call to play on. And Barron Hay can get it and go with plenty of time and space to work with. He wants Simmons, who's playing majority of his time forward. Trapping it well, though. Bellini caught holding the ball. Subiaco, though. They're staying in this one, even if the scoreboard isn't on their side. Up towards half forward. Still too far out to score. They'll kick towards the top of the square. Detada's out there. Use his body to perfection and kicks a goal from point blank range. The little nudge did enough to get it into his hands. He kicks the goal and Subiaco get their first of the second half. Kicked a goal last week to go with 19 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles in that win against Peel. He's in the leadership group for the Subiaco Lions Colts outfit. And 4 goals, as it was at the main break, is the margin. Eight minutes gone in this third quarter. Comes down, bursting through the centre square. O'Brien just a bit beyond his reach. Matera wants it over the top. Can he get it onto his right boot? He sure can, and it's going to slam into the left-hand goalpost. And Hay wastes no time with no one on the mark. Takes a bounce, takes another, and assesses his options. Goes short to O'Brien, who was just facing the wrong way for a split second. Luau Gatlook closing on him. He got the kick out when he needed to. Good body positioning there from Boylston. Up towards Young. Hasn't got on the end of one yet today. The back of 3 last week, but he might get it out here. Around the corner. Handball was hospital-like. But it's going to be a dangerous tackle. Couple of things going right for Subiaco in quick succession. Umpire's just going to check to see if he's okay to take the kick. And it looks like it's going to be Boylston to take the kick for Subiaco. They really need to pile on consecutive goals, to say the least, because every time they do, South Fremantle tend to go up the other end and score themselves, creating this 25-point buffer. Just to get it back below 20, though. Robin Boylston. Steady approach. It's not going to make the distance in the end, and just beyond the fingertips there of Simmons, who claims that he touched it, but went out of bounds. Noble hands off to his teammate to bring it back. You'd suspect they're going to come to this broadcast side, which they do. The intended target, Day, staying down was Mallard. First to it, Subiaco, no prior. For Hinchliffe. Holbrook in there, as is Musker, up towards the true centre half forward position. Here's Boylston, puts his head over it to Tata. Vanderhook comes out, had a bit of time. That'll be holding the ball. So Tata on the end of it, maybe just beyond his reach here in terms of being able to go back. He's looking pretty confident though with the approach. So Josh Chatada would be a mighty effort. He's just going to kick from about 50 exactly. It's an up and under ball. Not so much a question of distance in the end, just accuracy to the near side. So 24 points again. South Fremantle lead. Noble as players screaming in from it from all ends. Charland. Long clearing ball. Day. Intended target. Stays on the far side. Lally playing from behind. Holbrook circling it. Has no room to move with whatsoever. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Final game of round 5 of the EGT WAFL Colts. South Fremantle looking for another win next to their name. Coming into this with a 193% percentage as the balls remained on that far side. Good tackle from Subiaco. Again, boundary line. The result, Sam O'Brien's leading possession getter on the ground with 16 at the moment. Next best, Dylan Noble in the back half for South Fremantle, as Thatcher Simmons has also had 12. He's kicked a goal to match it as well. Day up in the ruck, uncontested in the end. Stannard got it down. Godwin staying out of it. He can show his foot speed, as too can Vanderhook. Advantage called down the ground, chopping off the arms. Coote has Hookham and company inside 50. Just brings it up towards Douglas, who kicked a nice goal at the other end in the second. They're calling for it long. He wants to go shorter into the pocket. And Guildford reading it best. The back pocket. And short to Baron Hay. And Holbrook down the line. Noble's going to go back with a flight. Didn't take his eyes off it, but Simmons takes a great mark. He's turned into a key position option. Goes over the top. Didn't quite hit the target, but it might work okay to try and keep it in front. Stannard, though, read it best. Trying to come through. The pressure came there from Bishop. Simmons breaking through, takes a bounce. He's just about doing it all at the moment. He'll go to Young. He'll reward Simmons to kick his second. And Subiaco aren't dying wondering at the moment. Thatcher Simmons kicks goal number 2. Dylan Young selflessly gave it back to him when he could have added his own name to the score sheet. But Simmons kicks his second and giving plenty to think about for South Fremantle in the back half. See the player in front of us on the broadcast side slow to his feet for South Fremantle. Looks like Luke Bellini. Luckily the boundary line and the bench is just there for him to take a spell. He'll be replaced by Hedge. Back in the middle once more. South Fremantle had a knack of replying quickly, but Subiaco, as I said, main in it. Comes up towards Allen. Allen keeps it in the field of play. Matera's going to take an uncontested mark just in the field of play. Now, it looks like he's going to go around for the snap. If there's anyone that could do it, be a player with the last name Matera from this pocket. He's going to come around, and it's a fair effort, but it's not going to register a score. Eventually did. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not to beat for the Bulldogs. Son of Phil Matera Cooper plying his trade at South Fremantle, kicked a goal earlier in the game. Mark taken out of the back half there by Coughlin. Robbins on a searching lead, just through his fingertips. Allen, Godwin, and Noble. Casual with the kick inside 50, trying to shrug free. He fended off, but he got a high free kick just before that. Did Mallard. So Mallard with the player down on the mark, he takes advantage of that. It's a floater, to say the least. It's a ground level. Hookham, they've restricted pretty well today after his 6 last week. Beck wanted pump up. Comes back on the left. Quick kick there by Hunt. How does this sit? And rushing it through is Guildford. And they're pretty quick to rush the ball out of their back 50. It could be the old 7-point play coming up off the deck. He is on the mark. Is Hookham. 6 goals last week, and sometimes goals can come from in all different shapes and sizes. And Subiaco, you don't want to fault their ability to take the game on, but sometimes a bit too rushed can come back to bite you, as it did on that occasion. Kicks goal number 13 for the season. He led coming into today with 12 in terms of the competition from a goal perspective. With 26 points. South Fremantle, which is around about where it sat for majority of the day, and particularly in the second half. Ballard looked out there if it wasn't for the intercepting touch there, and Beck takes the mark up towards Coughlin. That's an intercept, and you don't want to be intercepting to this man who does the team thing. That on the end of it was Hayden. He spots up Mallard, and could be forgiven if he wanted to try and get his 4th, but recognised a better position, albeit on a slight angle, was Mallard. This would really hurt Subiaco. 30 points is where it sat in terms of the biggest lead. This to get it out to 29. Tight pocket from Mallard. First game since his debut in round 3, where he did kick 2. That's just a bit wayward. Clearing ball and a mark taken at full stretch. Up towards the half-forward flank. Pack came. O'Brien was in there, as to Bournemouth. Comes out to number 37 in Robbins. Quick kick from Subiaco, protecting the space. On the end of it, Simmons going to be second to the ball. Hedge picks up cleanly. Goes out to Vanderhook, who just bites off the kick. Superb. Noble. Chipping ball. South Fremantle. It's their game to lose from here. Still quarter and a bit to play out, but they're just so well drilled, as we know. Grand final last year. They're looking to go one better. Godwin, who was part of that grand final team. They're out here if they can go. They just dropped the mark through Mallard. Luckily had Douglas over the top. He'll honour the lead short. And it's that number 30, again, Hookham, who can look to kick 2 goals in a quarter in the space of a few minutes. Just the 4 touches today, but like a few of the forwards for South Fremantle, they can make an impact with low disposal count. He comes in, it shapes back to perfection over the goal umpire's hat, and Hookham has his second in a flash, and South Fremantle continue to assert their dominance. 33-point leaders, which is the biggest of the game. Few minutes remain in the third. O'Brien first to it, as mentioned. He's leading possession getter on the ground with 17. Up towards half forward. Good spin out there from Boylston. Up and under ball. Take a fair effort to mark him, mate. Bournemouth almost did in the end. Robbins wheeling back onto his left boot. Wants to spot up Simmons, who's going to show his strength in the air. Couldn't quite mark it. Did everything right. And he'll be disappointed with that. Looks to bring it out, the Bulldogs, through Allen. Parsons working up the ground. Fist came from Lally. Back into the corridor. Outside of the boot. Touched. Otherwise looks good from up here. Godwin trying to work his way through it. Lost his footing. Goes back out to Allen. Just had a look to see who was behind him. And Holbrook making it clear that he took the grab. And goes inside 50. For another mark to be taken to Bournemouth, who kicked their first of the day. And a tough day for Subiaco forwards, but he stood up when he's needed to. He'd love to add his second of the day. And he'd love to have the last laugh of the quarter as well. That ball struck pretty well, but umpire told the picture, and another behind to Subiaco. 5-9-39 trail. South Fremantle 10-10-70. South Fremantle might have one more attempt to go from one end to the other, just over the head of the intended target, but it might work out okay for their plans. They get the 1-2 through Foster. Scherzer. Allen. He's looked the goods in his comeback game today. Been missing since round 3, so only the 1 round out. Robbins going back with the flight. Boylston, can he pick it up? Kicks up towards Simmons, who's going to go back with the flight. Was marking anyway, and the advantage will be paid to Subiaco. So Simmons has his third. And Subiaco has something to work with going into the last. That might just about be it for the quarter. So Thatcher Simmons walks into an open goal with his third. Little bit of momentum, but still going to be a mountain of a challenge, you'd say, for Subiaco to come back from here. Nonetheless, 25 points is the margin here at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. Fourth and final quarter coming up very, very shortly. South Fremantle a quarter away from keeping their unbeaten streak alive in 2026. We'll find out the final 25 minutes of footy coming up in the EGT WAFL Colts round 5 right after the break.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made a ground.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Welcome back to Sullivan Logistics Stadium. Subiaco trailing South Fremantle 6-9-45 to 10-10-70 heading into the last quarter. Big last quarter coming up, particularly for Subiaco as they try and wrestle back this lead. They've trailed for the whole day, but South Fremantle will not want to slip up in this last quarter. Just watching Matt Rogers' coach's address at three-quarter time, they looked pretty, not animated, but he wanted his side to close this out, you'd imagine, and continue to be physical in the contest as they've been. 3 goals to Jarrett Hayden, 2 goals to Sam Hookham, and singles to Nick Allen, Kobe Douglas, Ruben Matera, Riley Stowell, and Chase Manhook. While for Subiaco, it's been Thatcher Simmons who's really got them somewhat within touching distance. 3 goals to his name. Bournemouth kicking 2, Tatata with a single goal, while from a disposal perspective, Samuel O'Brien is up to 70 disposals on return to lead both sides. South Fremantle's leading possession getter is Jarrah Mallard on his return as well. So a couple of players coming back to the lineup for their respective sides and making an impact. Final quarter coming up of EGT WAFL Colts for round 5. South Fremantle lead by 25 points. Coming through Mallard. Good mark taken overhead by Hinchliffe. Up in the direction of O'Brien. He left it for Beck. Either way, it's a Subiaco ball, and Benji Beck takes a strong mark overhead. To go through the corridor. They're going to have to take some risks. Subiaco. It's a high free kick coming back the way of the number 1 in Mallard. And hand passes it off to Charland on his left. Low ball. Hayes tracking it. Subiaco have the numbers. Force it. Haven't called his name too much today. And a bit of a high contact off the ball to be a down the field free kick. The way of Subiaco a bit too high there. Hayden on Beck and O'Brien. That ball not going to stay in the field of play. Luckily, number 37 in Robin's got a hand to it to restrict the ball being brought back in by South Fremantle. Boundary throw in. Luau Gatluk in the ruck. Comes down the way of Lally. They're going to pick it up, Subiaco. O'Brien in the contest. Didn't have heaps of support there. McAuliffe in and under. Big kick forward. Almost a throw there from Hookham. It's not deemed that. Hay kept his composure and passed it out, and Tatata can take an uncontested mark, just hugging the boundary line. Again, floater off the boot. Coming from the side to make a contest of it was Bishop. And then the bounce did not treat Stewart kindly at all. Good tackle there by McAuliffe. He was 4th in the competition last year for tackles as a bottom ager. Tap comes down. Luau Gatluk. And no prior, said the umpire on Beck. O'Brien's not breaking out there anytime soon, but umpire said you had a chance to get rid of it. And Parsons on the end of it. He might want to go long. He does exactly that. Where are the flyers for South Fremantle? A couple of players, but Guildford wasn't a mark paid in the end, so it must have been off the sets of a couple of hands, or at least one, and Stewart has a couple of lines to contend with over the boundary line. Time on South Fremantle's side. Still over 20 minutes remain, but they're going to have to score at least 5 goals while restricting the Bulldogs at the other end. It does seem unlikely, but you never know in this game. Big fist comes out right into the grasp there of Coote. And good mark taken. In the back half, it's a push though that's been deemed. And they can't believe their luck, Subiaco. Matera, who kicked a goal at this end earlier in the game. We'll go back, and maybe too early to say this will seal it, but it could be very, very likely if he does. Comes in to add his name to the multiple goal kicker list for the Bulldogs. It's just faded to the left-hand side of the goalpost late, so a let-off for Subiaco by South Fremantle towards the Lions. Hayes going to clear out for Subiaco. The skipper, Luau, good look, is getting back. Stewart, rather it's Allen and the number 28 who got a little handball out. The call lift just waits for the runners. He did well to evade and sold Subiaco on all fronts, and that ball is not going to stay in on the far side. "26 points here at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. Bulldogs have been in control the whole way. They feels like they are playing a little bit in second gear, perhaps, but nonetheless, if they would get the 4 points here, then that won't matter too much for the ladder leaders. Mark taken by Hayden. He'll get back onto his left boot, pumps it long. Not sure if he even meant to do that, but it got the distance, not the accuracy in the end. He feels like he didn't put his whole boot into it sometimes, which shows how much power he's got behind that left leg. Hinchcliffe. Who can he spot up? Going to go across the face of goal. Hay. Low ball. Good for Baron Hay. Up a bite to the cherry. Up and under ball. Going back, it has to be communication, which was a bit of a failure there for Subiaco. They just left each other to their own accord. Under 20 minutes remain in this one. Luau picks it up. He couldn't quite get the boot to ball as the pressure came. Here's a chance for Subiaco. This is about as far as they've got it in this quarter. And then Simmons didn't quite stick the mark. Hand pass forward for Coughlin to run on to. Freight. And they want the big man who takes the mark. Chipping ball over the head of the intended target. Clever tap there from Fawcett to just keep it alive. And you can hear the South Freo players wanting the holding the ball for a kick for a player diving on it for Subiaco. It's not to be, as it stays on the half forward area for them. Hayden, did he cop a high free kick? Apparently not. Around the corner there from Baron Hay. They keep their feet, does Boylston. Coming across was Robbins. It will be a Subiaco free kick. Clearing ball, inside 50. Staying down was Coughlin. Coming up, Bournemouth. Can he pick it up cleanly on the left? That kick was smothered. South Fremantle eager to not concede. Robbins off a standing step, didn't get great purchase of it. And we'll have another stoppage this time in the Subiaco front half. Wow, good lick. Another hit out. He's got 15 of those next to his name now. Beating Bishop with 11, the next best for the Lions. They play on to the home side. They really need something quick. If there are any slimmer of hope. Simmons, a chop off the arms in the contest, and again push and shove. Subiaco do not want to give a free kick away here whatsoever. It's going to be Simmons from directly in front. The push and shove just continues towards the pocket. So Thatcher Simmons for goal number 4. He's carried the forward line really today. He comes in, and that's straight as an arrow. He's got 4 next to his name, and Subiaco remain in the hunt. He's no stranger to goals in front of the big sticks. Thatcher Simmons. Averaging almost 2 goals a game this year. And they've isolated 1 out as well. So that's the plan they're running with. They just need to be able to get it to him in the first place a few more times. 21 points, the margin. Good tackle there. Didn't take his eyes off it. Good Boylston. Under 15 minutes remain. Subiaco, there's the door slightly ajar for them. South Fremantle might only need 1 more to really clamp this down. Mallard getting the 1-2. Pressing the kick there, not biting off how he wanted to was Stewart. Subiaco don't want to muck around with it too much. Barron Hay further up the field. Young was pushed over. Umpire was tempted to pay free kick. Lally leaves it for his teammate, but that's going to come back to bite the Lions. And the free kick against O'Donnell to Vanderhook. Sixteenth disposal for him. Up and under ball, up towards half forward. Mallard made a late run on the jump, but the mark taken by Hinchliffe. And Boylston has to do everything he can to keep that in the field of play. Almost lost his footing in the end. Big fist from Darcy Day. Stannard tries for the torp, picking it up. Hayden, he couldn't, could he, from here? Left foot, Perla would put a full exclamation mark on it, but it's marked. Playing the goalkeeper line on the last line of defence, Subiaco. And that's going to be 50 as well, so a couple of things going right. That looks home just about. Going back with the flight to take the mark. Subiaco live to see another day for now. They go through the corridor. Freight. Mallard has a bit of time to assess his options. Vanderhook, he just stops and props and then goes short for the hard-running player in Parsons, who got the one arm to it. Handball with the pressure coming in. Subiaco. Crowd starting to get into it in a late stage. 21 points for the Bulldogs. Big fist came from Bishop. Holbrook wants that out. Vanderhook's pleading his case for insufficient intent. Bit of push and shove there with Holbrook. Spinning out Beck, superb in the contest. Coupry in there as well. Good tap, Bishop. Time the enemy though for Subiaco. Coming into this game with a 1-2 record. They had a bye prior to that last game against Peel. O'Brien, little kick out from the fellow number 7 in Hunt. With the hands there of Hayden. And free kick coming the way. Frustrated Subiaco. Defender. Here is the second gamer in Hunt. Hasn't hit the scoreboard as much as he did last week, but of course you can't expect 4 goals off the back of the debut the week to follow. Puts it in the path. Luau Gatlook flew. Vanderhoek's down there. One more goal. Could just about put the lights out. Has Vanderhoek done that? Not quite. 23 points. That's what Subiaco trail by. Force it in the back half. Down the line. Holbrook's down there to Tata. Stays down. Beck again. Strong in the air. He's really showing his aerial capabilities for a smallish player in that contest. He wanted the 1-2 back. Groupie wasn't on the same page. Mark taken by the lines. 1-2 with Pumper. Pumper will get it back towards half forward. Simmons working up the ground. He shows his strength, but that's a push out. Fine line with those calls sometimes. Noble, the one-on-one with him. Mallard is out. With a scrappy ball though. Couldn't quite find the target. Parsons lowers his eyes, and that's a great kick, although Hookham dropped the mark. He has the bypassing player. Goes back the way of Hunt and diving to take the mark. Here's the second gamer, who, if there's ever a time to kick your first of the day, it's now to just about complete this result for South Fremantle. Hasn't been a perfect game by any means for them, but when you're undefeated, you just need to do enough sometimes, and this would get it out to 28 points. He does it effectively. So last week's debutant kicking fours, kick 1 today to keep his little streak alive of goals in the start of his Colts career. And South Fremantle have done enough now, you'd say, to run away with the Chockies. Big run and jump there by Day. Subiaco stayed down. Holbrook being that. Krupi showing his dash. Takes a bounce as well. Eyes light up towards centre half forward. And a push down the ground. Subiaco. Can they get a quick reply? Young. Deepest play to goal. It's been a tough day for him. He did give a goal assist to one of Thatcher Simmons' goals, so could have had a goal next to his name, but didn't quite mark that one there. Nonetheless, it stays as a boundary thrown in there. Forward 50. Wasn't quite expecting it. O'Brien, banana ball, going back with the flight. Again, just a bit beyond the reach of Young. At the 7 touches. Still Young. Shallow throw in. Subiaco going to be first to it. Can they get the handball to Young? He has no room to move and be a boundary throw in. Godwin not giving an inch. Ball thrown back in. Godwin first to it, trying to shrug off. Quick kick around the body. Strong in the air was Hinchliffe. And on the second attempt with the one hand, Subiaco do take the mark. They know they have to go quick. They know it's going to take something special, but Boylston. Ball to the top of the square and taking the mark is the ruck in Bishop. He can go back and pop this through from a tight angle. South Fremantle defenders just having a bit of a lapse there. Thinking it might have just sailed through from behind. And speaking of behinds, unfortunately, Bishop has kicked that to the near side. 27 points. Remained in that sort of 20 to 30 point buffer for majority of this game, really, once South Fremantle got out of the blocks post quarter time. Ball towards the corridor. Holbrook's there, just gave his opponent a nudge. Being Douglas holding free kick, coming back the way of the lines through Hay. He ignores the short options up towards half forward. Good crumbing there from Boylston. Just slaps it on the boot. Making a good contest of it was Robbins. Again, South Fremantle hack it out of there. Just through the legs of Mallard. Showing his strength was Hay. Matera. Good tackle. And step around the body from Hicks. Keeps it in. The full ball hasn't gone out there. Quick kick off the boot. Bit of a scrappy affair here on the broadcast side. South Fremantle are going to come away with the 4 points. They're going to keep their unbeaten streak alive. It's just a matter of what the final margin is. Subiaco have battled hard and shown that last week's win against Peel was not a one-off, even though they're not going to come away with the win here. Some good signs to work with for John Mansbridge. Still be disappointed though with the result. There's good mark taken there by Tatata. Holbrook was already off before he took the mark. And that's a kick which he'd like again as the mark's taken by Foster Scherzer. They can milk some seconds off the clock. Again, contest made of it. Coming down. Parsons outside of the boot. That's a great banana. Just trying to tap it forward. Stewart's the deepest forward, which often isn't a sight you see. Sliding in. Holding the ball. The call in the end. Beck can't believe his luck. And it's going to come the way of Stewart, who can go back and add his name to the score sheet if he can kick successfully. Comes in. And that's straight over the goal umpire's hat. He loves it off the boot. South Fremantle put the exclamation mark on a win, which for now is looking like a 33-point victory unless any further score will be impacted in the remaining minute and a half. So, Tom Stewart. Nice goal for him at the back end. Just looking ahead to next week for these sides in round 6. South Fremantle do have the bye, so some nice momentum, and I mean they'd probably want to keep it considering they're undefeated, but obviously you can't control when your byes are. They'll face Peel on a Friday night in May 22 in the next game down at Lane Group Stadium, while for Subiaco they face West Perth, who lost last night That game's a night game next Saturday at HIF Health Insurance Oval. West Perth will be eager to bounce back after going down to the 6-point loss last night to Peel Thunder, which was the Thunder's first win since round 15, 2024. Back in the middle, as this one is at the closing stages. Beck in there. And it's a player who's set up the bulk of the work in the early stage, and Hayden, who has got 3 goals next to his name to match his disposal count, which sits at 13. Trying to fend off was Hinchliffe. Got out in the end. O'Brien's battled hard in his return. He took them all on, had to get the handball out to O'Donnell. Baron Hay has some room to work with. They get a late consolation prize. Clock continues to run. South Fremantle were challenged at different times, and there was a stage in the last quarter where Subiaco just kept coming for a little bit, but South Fremantle, who win yet again here, EGT WAFL Colts. The final margin looking to be 33 points. They come to Leederville and get the job done. 33 points, the final margin, 7-10. 52 Subiaco defeated by South Fremantle 12-13-85. They go into the bye next week with a perfect record under Matt Rogers in season 2026. Last year's grand finalists for Subiaco. They face, as I said, West Perth under lights next Saturday. Just looking at some of the main contributors today from a goal perspective. Thatcher Simmons kicked 4 goals to really give Subiaco a sniff there. 20 disposals to match. He was Subiaco's best, you'd have to say. Jarrah Hayden, 13 disposals and 3 goals, including some nice ones on the run. James Bourne with 2 goals, and Sam Hooken with 2 goals for the respective sides to be the other multiple goal kickers, while Cooper Matera, Nick Allen, Riley Stannard, Tom Stewart, a late goal, and Chase Vandal kicked singles, while Josh Dutata also kicked a single for Subiaco. Kobe Douglas, I should say, included in the Bulldogs side of things. Jai Hunt, a goal as well. While from the disposal count, leading South Fremantle's Chase Vanderhook again, up to 22 disposals. He's averaging 28 disposals this year. Jarrah Mallard had 22 on return. His first game since round 3 on debut, so pretty good to get that in his second game. Corbin Boylston had 21. Sam O'Brien on return from State 18's duties had 21. And Thatcher Simmons, as I said, 20 disposals for 4 goals. Some really good output for him as he continues on his stellar season. But from Sullivan Logistics Stadium, that just about does it here. My name's Ethan Ross. It's been a pleasure to give you all the coverage here on YouTube, where all WAFL Colts games and WAFL W games are housed in season 2026. Another round in the books for the Colts, and South Fremantle go in to their bye next week undefeated as they look to push on to a further step as they got last year at a grand final. We'll see you next time from Sullivan Logistics Stadium. It's the Bulldogs who come away 33-point victors.